So those are your cousins?
Yeah, this is Yvonne.
Which is the one that had a crush on
This
you?
one right here. She followed me everywhere I went. We
So,
got in the car. She had to sit by me.
middle one is Yvonne.
Yeah, and she whispered in my ear. She said, "I love you, Larry." I said, Yvonne, you're my cousin. She said, "I don't care." I said, "I don't care. I do anyway." I said, "Oh, you can't do that." Yeah, that's Claudia. She was a real good kid.
You sure? You got this listed as Yvonne here.
It is Yvonne.
Well, then on the last one, then
Is that
Yvonne
the same?
wants
It's
to
not the same.
stand
It's
up.
not the same picture.
That last picture, Yvonne would be the one standing up in the back.
What kind of blouse she have on?
Same one she's got on this picture.
That looks like Claudia to me. Maybe it is Yvonne.
That's Mr. Cowboy.
A scarecrow, more like.
Have my cowboy hat on. Man, coming home from Utah.
I don't want to hear that. There's a sad person in the middle.
So it's, who are
I
they?
don't know who those. Oh, this is Uncle Otto. Uncle Fred here.
Uncle Fred's on the right.
Yeah, that's Uncle Fred, and this one over here that's Otto, Uncle Otto, right there.
Next to Charles.
Yeah. And I think.
Are those, John, are those the pillows there?
Yeah, one of those are her pillow.
What?
One of those are her.
Okay, so they should probably come get that. Oh, okay. Looks like
I'll
John
bet
has to go
that's Clarence. That's all the brothers right there. That's Fred, Clarence, Otto, and my dad. And the woman is Clara. That was his whole family.
So Charles and Leroy.
Yeah. That's Florence and Betty. I don't know who the other one is.
Idea who the other girl is. They playing worldly music at a picnic.
I think he got it, and my mom got on him big time over that, if I remember right. And he loved to play his violin, and he was playing for the whole crew there. See, I'm not in any of these because I was in the military right then.
So it's Ernie, Leroy, Charles, Diana, me, Melody, Grandma, Betty, and Florence.
Yeah. Yeah, that was on Fairfax. The only one missing is Sandy.
Hold on, let me switch poses.
That's
Who's that?
me and Florence and Betty. I don't know who the other two are. Oh, I got my thumb in my mouth. Look at there.
This isn't going to be big enough. What? There you go.
That's one of the few pictures we have of my grandfather. He lived up around Oxford, Wisconsin, on a farm.
I think Mom said he is.
We need to get some.
Let's see, he's Grandpa Bell though.
Yeah, it's
So
Grandpa
that we can
Bell.
make
Yeah.
a copy. How do you make a copy of that from that onto? How would you make a copy of that onto a regular?
I'm not gonna make it all the way through.
Just whenever you get tired. It's a close up of great.
Yeah,
Grandpa
your great
Bell.
grandpa. You know, it's sad. It's sad. I never knew that man. That's sad. And when I think of the relationship I have with my grandkids.
6 months old.
Huh.
Never knew him. Never knew him at all.
See, he was in on the family there, and I was just about this age right there. You'd think I can remember him, but I can't. And I was about Caddy's age there.
Yeah.
But I can't remember that man at all. I can't remember.
So that's you in Grandpa's arms and
Yeah.
Florence standing in front of.
Yeah,
Grandma?
Mark's down there, and Betty. Betty can remember him because she. That's Aunt Agnes, I think. Yeah, I think that's Aunt Agnes. and Betty and I don't know who the other two are. Someone said it was in Minnesota or something.
You know what that is?
Toxins, isn't it?
I don't know. You didn't write anything on the
What's it say
picture.
underneath it?
Nothing here.
I don't know who they are. Oh, I like that. That's the one I like, that picture made so I could show that I wore caps back then. Since
Yes.
I don't want to be without my cap now.
You say the lady is on this. You say it's Charles' sister.
Okay. Must be Clara then. You only had one, I think.
Clara is his sister.
Yeah. So we had contact with all of them people. I don't think we did.
That too.
John, did you say you have a pillow there?
Yes, I got a pill.
Okay, and I don't think it's gonna get cold in here, but if it does, you need a blanket.
Okay. Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Maybe we better stop there.
You want to stop there? Your memory lapsing there?
Yeah.
He's just losing interest, John. I don't know.
Who is that?
That's Charlie and Larry Charles.
Is that you, Larry, when you were a little baby?
Yeah, can't you tell I was sucking my thumb?
Oh.
Ernie didn't suck your thumb. Ernie had other vices, but mine was sucking my thumb.
This wants to come Cheryl. How did you want to do it? Oh, I'm sorry.
And then okay with Angie.
Yes.
Charles is holding who there?
He is holding
Mark?
Florence.
Florence.
I was probably out playing golf or something.
Sure you was.
That's Betty and Grandma.
Betty and Grandma, Florence and Charlie.
You know what, Dad was.
What I did just then, she put him down. See, well, Esther doesn't. She just said Larry or something, but she doesn't put me down. He couldn't be in the south part.
And that's Ernie peeking up to the middle and the bottom there.
Yes.
Well, I don't know why not have. I guess your miscarriage is in between.
It does.
And his kids far apart.
Well, see, that's 9 years older than Florence.
Yeah.
And,
And that's Grandma Antrim Miller,
yeah.
Grandpa Miller, and Larry. That's
Yeah,
you in
that's
front
me.
of Grandma? And Florence?
You're gonna own up to it?
About me, Annie. I sucked my thumb till I was 17.
17.
Yes, you don't want me to tell it.
No, but you're talking to your
That's- I was a good-looking guy, boy.
Yes,
No wonder
you
girls
were.
chased me all over.
That's you in the middle?
Yeah,
Yeah.
With
Who
two
was
neighbor
those other
boys?
kids
the
there?
boys that lived right around there. I don't remember.
Cheryl's not at her desk right now. Is
Two
it your
neighbor
phone?
kids?
I got my scar there.
It's one. But she's a lot of times not at her desk.
I don't think I got my scar on my chin there. The glass got broken. We told Florence to take it outside, and she held it out like this.
Neighbor girl?
That
Kids
little
too?
girl's name is Shirley that's holding Ernie. I remember
That's
that.
Ernie?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know Shirley what. Wessel or something. Winslow.
So that's Larry and Ernie are the only ones in that picture?
No.
Huh?
Larry's not in that picture, just
That's Ernie.
Florence.
Go, telling me before. See me, see my camera right here?
Yeah.
You see it?
If I'm not looking at you, I'm not ready for you to tell me who we're looking at, Mom.
If you're not looking at us, you're not ready. If you are looking at us, you are ready.
Oh,
Are
so
you got it functioning now?
yeah,
It's going?
I've
Do all
got
this?
I've got this what you're saying right now. Yeah.
Oh, good sakes. Back it up and erase that.
So who? So who is this?
Okay, start from the back row there.
All right, hold on now. Okay. Now who's on the left?
Florence. Grandma Bell. Wyvana.
She's holding who?
That's
Bradley.
questionable.
Bradley.
Yeah, I think so.
That's got to be Ken then
And
next.
then
Ken
Ken,
behind there.
and then Betty. And down in the very front is Larry Charles Bell.
With my bang.
With his
Your mouth over
bangs.
here.
All right. And the rest of them are who?
Yvonne
Which is
on the left and the bottom.
lower left.
And the lower right is Gloria.
Gloria. Gloria with Sissy.
Yeah. And then Bub.
I went. It was terrible.
That's
That's
you
Ruby
and
and
Ruby.
Ruby and Wybana.
Oh, that's where I'm.
Sisters. Look a little closer.
Yeah.
Why do I have to look closer?
Well, does the
I
picture
can
look a
tell
little
that's
closer?
Ruby and Wybana.
You want them. And so I'm pretty sure these are the pictures I got
Well,
out of that
these are
box.
always, this little girl, okay, starting from the front on the
Front
left
left is
is Gloria, Florence, and Greg Antrim, Uncle Paul's little boy. Then Bob Jacobson and Terry Antrim. Back row, Charles Bell, Grandma Antrim Miller, Grandpa Miller, and Paul Antrim.
okay.
Okay? Right smack dab in the middle is Kenneth Jacobson. And Wybana Bell. And her sister Agnes standing next to her, holding her two children, Claudia and Bradley. And Betty Bell. And on the very bottom is Yvonne and darling little Larry Charles.
Darling. That is Ernie Paul Bell.
Babies, when you're young like that, you just never know what's going to happen. Is that where that is?
Mm-hmm. That's when Aunt Agnes used to go up there.
So these are mostly church kids then?
No,
Well,
only
no.
a couple extra in there, the Hardy kids. Okay, back row, Ken Jacobson, Bob Jacobson, and far right is Dwayne Hardy. Second row down is Flo Bell, Larry Bell. In front of Larry Bell is Bradley Jacobson. To his right is Sonia Hardy. And the very front is Ernie Bell and evidently Yvonne Jacobson or
No, she was my age. Yvonne
well
was.
then that's Claudia. Yeah, it'd be Claudia because she's younger than Bradley.
With me, get me in trouble.
Well,
They was always
that's
getting me
like,
they'd get me into meetings all the time. Get me in trouble.
And the rest of the group are who here? You know?
that's like, okay, that's gotta be Yvonne and Sissy and Ruthie, sure.
Which one is
Who is
Sissy?
Sissy?
Sissy's the one, the middle one,
Well, how old was she when she died?
12, 13, something like that.
But Sissy's one of
And Agnes,
Agnes's.
oldest daughter.
Oldest
She
daughter?
died of,
Sugar diabetes.
Yeah.
Some cranky old doc. Didn't have a car.
Alright. Who you
that's-
got your hands on there?
Got my hand on my sister, Sister Florence.
Your sister Florence.
Okay. And my cute little brother Larry.
Florence carrying $1 or something.
Yeah.
That's that old parsonage at Big Flats, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, that's your car. Yes, it is.
That's your home away from home for how long were you pastor at Big Flats?
1 year.
1 year?
But I thought there was a light pole right there someplace right around there.
There was.
That's the back door toward the church right there, right? Yeah, that's where you went in from the church. You went in that back door right there. And that old house always looked like it was going to fall over any minute.
Yeah, that's your Big Flats congregation or whoever showed up for
Yeah,
church that day.
There's Diane and Mel in there. Flossie Johns on the front row next to Mom.
Had a Stockwell. And I don't know who that Graham is, but a guy Keeney. Who was
Just
that?
that somebody came to church there. There was an older couple that came. There's Guy Keeney and me and Dad. Yeah,
That's Grandma.
That's the preacher now and then.
It says Easter 1959. Let me roll down here. That's
There's Dad. He was always piddling. He'd come in from work and go outside. We eat supper, go outside and piddle. Work here, and this
This is mixed bathing with.
We didn't believe in mixed bathing. I got my own tub.
That's probably not the reason.
It's true. I got the whole tub. Look at them jammed in that other tub. And I got that whole tub myself. Just because they didn't believe in putting them together.
So who were the girls in the tub then?
Florence and Yvonne and
Sissy,
Sissy.
Gloria.
So Florence is the one on the right.
Yes,
Sissy is the middle one,
yes.
and then the other is Yvonne.
Dog, dog.
No. She's in Florida. She took nurse's training. She's a nurse.
Is that a large showy pin Grandma has on there?
She was during that December.
Yeah.
And
That's Chucky Wall.
Go ahead. I'm facing you.
You weren't looking.
Well, it says good. This Larry says looking at you.
And Betty Bell. And Guy Keeney and Will Stockwell and Minnow Bass.
I wouldn't remember that. Well, a lot of them old guys wore caps back in them days, but they wore more hats than caps. Dad's got a racy looking cap on.
He always liked to wear some nice hat. So did John's dad. Leroy Harry, Beatrice Ivana, Diana, Lynn, John, Leroy, and Melody Ann.
That was taken down on Fairfax.
Correct. Side notice. Little cowboy clothes. I don't know why. Is that I did that or it's his idea?
Oh boy, you go through that.
This is Larry's part of the family that we didn't get many pictures of here.
Yeah. Well, now I wasn't in any of these. I was overseas.
I mean the one person you're holding there.
One person who's
Larry's holding. We don't get many pictures of.
Oh, Sandy.
Sandy.
You know,
that's not Larry, that's Ernest.
Is that Ernie holding Sandy?
That's
Where's
Yeah.
Larry at
I know
then?
what you're
Oh,
talking
that's Ernie that's Ernie, and I took that old dog away from him. Didn't even realize it.
So you was already in the
Yeah.
Air Force there then?
Well, I was gone. You know, while I was gone, the air. I mean, I didn't think about that. Never crossed my mind.
So that's Ernie holding Sandy then.
Yeah.
That was a special dog. I loved that dog. I did.
Yeah.
And he was a smart dog. I could talk to that dog.
Except that one time.
Well, he went and got lost in the woods that other time. I couldn't imagine that dog getting lost in the woods.
This
I
is a
dog.
fourth generation picture.
Yeah, it is.
That's Beatrice Bell Church, Ivana Bell, Melody Church, and
Grandma.
what was her name? My goodness. Jenny Antrim Miller.
Jenny, and
Never called her by her name. I had a hard time pulling that up. There's Sandy with who? That's
John.
Oh, is that John?
Yeah.
Oh, that's Melody.
does count.
creeping. Looks like Sandy's loving him.
yeah.
I think those dogs are real.
And who's the Salvation?
Ernie marched in that band playing that trombone, and when he got out of high school, he never picked it up again. I tried to get him to play it in church. He wouldn't do it. He said, I don't know how to play that thing. Harry was a nice old guy.
Yeah,
He was real well, easy going.
yeah.
Harry Miller, John Church.
That's John Church. And Jenny Miller. And that's Diana Lynn. Making a fancy face.
I carried a picture around with me for years of him. Esther said, keep the picture of the dog he's built for. He does more than he does me.
Wrapped in paper.
Betty, Leroy, John, Melody, and Diana Church.
Yeah, you must have been on one of your trips there.
This is up at Casanova. Says we had no pictures of her.
That's Mallardy.
Yeah,
Oh, Uncle Larry's got some.
probably about 2 years old or something.
And Diana and John.
That's the same day. You got on the same outfit good as that last picture.
Yeah, it's the same day.
That's Christmas time. I think I could. You go ahead.
Which way you gonna start, left or right?
Okay. Emmanuel Antrim.
Starting which way?
Huh?
Starting which way?
Starting from the left. Emmanuel Antrim alias Mick. Second one is Paul Antrim. And Ruby Hollander. Bill Antrim and Ross, not Ross, that's Ralph. Ross wasn't there. That's
Well, the
Ralph.
only ones I can remember is Paul,
Yeah,
Nick, and I remember him well. We went to his farm out in Minnesota.
yeah.
And the others I don't remember at all.
Uncle Ralph.
That's one of the good things we left behind. And one of the bad things we left behind.
Good looking guy. Ernie looks almost like that.
Yeah. Man, I was having trouble with me to tell up there. I was.
That's the three sisters.
Yeah.
Ruby,
Ruby's
Ivana,
mother and Agnes.
Agnes. Is this when
It's on the way
Grandma's
to General Assembly.
swore that she'd become a Democrat there?
No, she probably didn't realize that was the Democratic symbol, or she wouldn't have done it.
As sharp as that picture, can you, any of those family other than Grandma's on the furthest right? See Grandpa's, you probably can't see Grandpa's nose in that.
No, that's not really clear.
That's as clear as that thing gets.
This is where we need to lie here, because I don't know. That's a brother, evidently.
That's probably a bell.
Yeah.
You think? You think it's an Antrim? You think that's Grandma's brother? Right, you know all these people, all right?
Yeah, that's Ken and Nell. Florence. One of the Bolanders. And those other two, I think, are friends of the Bolanders. Pictures of those three ladies.
Yeah, three sisters again. I don't see very many of them that are really focused very good either.
Well, there's oldies, and back then they never good cameras. There's Dad, Ernie, and Mother. Dad took his cap off for the occasion. I don't know who Ernie's with.
They went fishing.
Out a bunch, didn't they?
A
Somebody
few.
had a lot of fish to clean.
Grandma, right on the bill. There's Grandpa Ernie. Who's next? That's
The only one I know there is Ernie and that much. I don't know who the rest of them are.
Looks like he's saying, "What you looking at?"
I think he looks like somebody just been through boot camp.
So you were in a specialized field then? What was it?
Yeah, radio operator, technician. So I took my training for
So what year would this been about?
55, late 55 and 56. These pictures were made in your house down the basement, I think.
Oh, that's upstairs there.
Is that upstairs?
Yeah. See the fireplace back there behind Grandpa?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I see now.
That's
That was
Grandpa
right.
Bill,
That
Diane.
was right after they finished the upstairs then.
It's probably shortly after, yeah.
Because I helped your dad build lay the blocks for the basement of the house. And I helped him some on the upstairs part. We got all the hardwood for the house at, a lot of it anyway, a lot of the floors up in Lake Geneva, that Wrigley Mansion.
Hmm.
You remember that? You was too young.
I don't recall getting
You know,
the wood for it,
You
but
was about that age right there, and you was just a
Yeah.
little old guy. isn't it?
Yeah. Beatrice Wivana and Wivana Jenny Antrim Bell. So who the guys in the double exposure there?
I don't know. Is that me?
If it's you or Ernie or somebody maybe, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's Charles Bell at the picnic table.
Got him a lunch bucket.
He brought a
there,
lunch box, I don't know.
and a coffee thermos there. He's ready to go.
Still had his hat on there.
Yeah. I don't know what that occasion was. Must have been the assembly. I think that was like the assembly. That,
It says Florence, but you know who the
no, I don't. Your
Other
sister,
two?
your mother, you know, probably. I don't know who that is.
Eileen Ray Gilbertson.
The girl, Grace.
Oh. Is that why she looks so sour?
She looks so sour because our relationship is about to go kaput.
Uh-oh.
That's the Bell band there, I guess.
I don't know if I've ever recall even seeing Florence ever playing the violin.
See that guitar I'm playing there? That was
Yeah.
that was a valuable guitar, and I never liked playing it. It's the strangest thing. It's a Gibson. It was a good guitar, and I just never. I always had trouble getting it tuned, so I let the thing go. Looks like Larry Bell is fighting the battle of the bulge there again.
How old would have Larry Bell been right there?
21.
Come on. Charles
That must
and
have been a Casanova,
well,
I think. Like
I
that,
know.
got a brace on his arm or something.
yeah, he's got something on his wrist there, something. Yeah, it says Casanova Church.
Oh, well. That water wasn't treated or nothing. A lot of people got sick off there more. Oh, well.
That's Diana, me,
Diane and you,
Grandpa,
and
Melody.
Melody, and your mom and
Yeah.
Grandpa in
Grandma with attendance of being 24. Last Sunday it was 37.
there. Boy,
The
the
offering is $2.85. This Sunday, last Sunday offering was up to $3.34.
Lord.
That's Florence. That's picture dated December 67.
67?
Yeah, and so was that one Casanova Church where we're standing in front of it with the pump there. Actually, that one with you and Ernie, I asked you how old you were, that's July 66. That's Betty, Wymana, and Florence, huh? That's,
Yeah.
that's December 69.
That's your old station wagon behind there, isn't it?
That Dad's old?
When you
Could
had
be.
that, you had for a long time?
Yeah, could be.
That's the one you came to Montier in, and the one you came to our wedding in.
Yeah. That picture kind of overexposed on the edges.
Yeah, that looks like my brother and his wife and 2 kids, right?
That's probably,
I don't know who the other ones are in here.
well actually it looks like Esther to me with the 2 kids.
The girls?
Well, no, I think
Bob,
it's,
it looks like Bob.
it could be Bob and Jeff, but that looks like Esther with them. Something about that don't look like Julie to me.
Huh.
I don't know.
think it is, though. I think that's
That's Grandma, Grandpa, Bell.
yeah.
Looks like your mom's house there. Don't see no year or nothing on there. You already, you think that's 6th Street?
Yeah, that was on 6th Street.
That's definitely Esther and
The girl.
the girl.
Grandma, grandpa.
Grandpa. I really think that's probably the girls look the same age as that other picture. I think that's probably that same trip.
That's my Uncle Otto. My dad's brother.
Otto.
Thanks. Is that what it says there?
Yeah. Otto Bell, Charles Bell's brother. Grandpa Bell's brother. That's the sisters, Agnes and Wylana, Antrim.
Ron, Bill, and Agnes Jacobson.
Grandma having a picnic.
Probably on a trip somewhere. That's what we always did. I didn't know what it was like to go in the restaurant. We never. We stopped at the grocery store and get a
Loaf of bread.
and some bologna and a pack of sweet rolls. And we always, my mother always got that ring bologna, that round stuff, the length thing.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we always ate. We had bread and that and sweet rolls, potato chips.
That was your traveling food, huh?
Yeah, and we just almost never went in restaurants. I don't know where this was taken.
It's Charles, Yvonne, and
It must have been
Agnes.
taken down to Agnes's when she lived in Chattanooga.
It could be.
I think that's what it is. On the way to General Assembly. I thought your house is
Yeah.
your mom's house.
Ken and Nell and probably
One of their kids.
one of the kids. It was Tammy. Charles in the back there. This says Grace. So what row is Grace?
Grace Bolander.
Or Bolander?
Yeah, but she wasn't her. Her name wasn't Bolander. Her name's something else. She wasn't Bolander. Grace and Gordon, they lived in California, above Hayward, California.
Uncle Mick and Aunt Molly. This
That
is
was
Wheaton.
that wasn't too long ago.
So Mick is Grandma's brother?
Yeah, he was in Minnesota, Wheaton, Minnesota. She must have taken a trip up there in later years to his farm. He lived way back in the boonies on a farm, great big farm.
Why, Ivana and Agnes again. Beatrice, Ivana, Bell, Church, Agnes, Bledsoe, Jacobson. Ivana, Jenny, Antrim, Bell, and Florence. Florence's middle name was Jenny too. I thought Jenny was Grandma's too. Did she have?
Yes, Betty?
Mom!
That Jenny got around though.
Alright, so Florence's middle name was Jenny, and Grandma's middle name was Juanita. Grandma and Grandpa. Who's that guy?
Oh, and there it is. I forever had my bangs down in front of that, a high forehead. And Mother always cut my hair to cover my high forehead. That's when I was in the station in Germany. That was at a German house. This German girl I dated from.
Yeah.
And that was in her house, that picture taken in her house. The river and boy.
Back in that 4th Street, I think.
Yeah, and that little chubby guy, that like me, I think.
Well, that's Mom and probably Florence and I guess.
That's me. Man,
Yeah.
I was a chunky. You know why I was that chunky? Maybe
I don't know. You had some weight on. Yeah, if that was you. What building would that be in the back? Is
Fairbanks Morse.
that Fairbanks Morse? It's a Beatrice.
Yeah.
Well, I
That's a good picture of your mom.
know.
That was about when she was getting out of high school, I think.
The
Yeah, on the
6th
front
Street
porch.
porch. Leroy, Betty, holding, I don't know, Pastor Melody, I guess.
Y'all.
That's me, Florence, and then the back is Grandma Bell. Yes, Ernie and Grandpa Bell. That's Larry
I have to
Bell.
really listen, make them say it twice, or I'll say that person's not here, and they'll be asking for somebody in the family. They say, honey, they speak to Cheryl now, so she doesn't live here anymore.
That your car there?
Yep, that's my old Chevy. That's the car I was driving when I met Esther. Drove that thing to Texas, all over the place. It was taking it to your house too, wasn't it?
I think that's Grandma Bell's house.
Oh yeah, 'cause she had that there.
That brick wallpaper.
Wallpaper. Yeah, that piano's in that picture right over here right now.
Same piano. Yeah. That's okay. That's Leroy. Picture before of my family at Grandma Bell's. It's taken July of '66, it says. That's a picture of Diana Lynn Church. Rosquist. Diana Lynn Church again. And that Diana Lynn again. And that's Melody Ann Church. And that's John Leroy. Florence Campbell. Florence and Galen. Florence and Galen cutting the cake. It's on their second marriage. It's Florence. I don't know where. I guess it says Lutheran service or something. Where that was at. That was probably Florence showing how much weight she lost pulling her belt out there. That's Florence. Thinking happy thoughts there. That's at the wedding. Larry's lighting candles with Florence and Galen and Mom in the background there. There's Florence and Galen. It's a pretty picture of Florence. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Is that Florence? Is that Florence?
Yep.
Seems like an age and a look I've never seen her with.
It's Florence Jenny Ding Dong Bell.
So how old would you say Florence is there?
30.
Yeah. Jeff and Bop all made up for Halloween. I don't know what Jeff was supposed to be looking like. Is that looks like one of those people masks. It's supposed to make you look like somebody. I don't know who.
That's my brother.
That's
His wife.
Ernie and Juliet, Bop and Jeff. And that's January 1966. It says. Jeff on the top line and Bop on the bottom
School
line.
pictures. Man,
That's me in the blue shirt,
yeah.
Bop
look,
and Ernie, and
You had a mustache on there for some
Yeah.
reason.
I think when I had some hair too.
Yeah, you have a bunch of it.
Church as in Sunday school type of girl.
Oh.
Florence and Bop and Jeff. Jeff and Tammy, it says 1994. Now they've got a,
Wow,
Who was that tape?
I had no idea.
says the Campbells, and said Gail Florence's house.
Oh, yeah.
So that's Mom, Nathan holding, who would Nathan be holding there?
You got me. Who's your
Who's-
Krista?
I don't know who had a baby later. I'm
Oh,
not
was
sure.
you there when the war died? Was he more,
And Nathan across the top,
Yeah.
and Crystal across the bottom.
wedding cake?
That's my wedding cake, but Mom made it.
Your mom made that one?
Yeah.
That is the saddest story. You know, I told John before. Your dad gets credit for so much nice things, and I get credit for so many. Yvonne's house, and start working on that cake early in the morning. 'Cause I was
Nathan
gonna-
is karate instructor. Park City.
We were over there, 10 in the morning. Proceeded to make frosting for a cake. It took 16 pounds.
In the evening, about like 6.
3.
Was it?
No, the wedding was at 3.
Was it?
Except for maybe it was 6.
Oh.
So we had to have a cake done. Never seen that.
So that's Florence, Yvonne, and who's the baby?
What's her-
Must be
Miranda.
Yvonne's.
Miranda? Who is who?
Miranda. Yvonne's
Yvonne's little girl?
What house is that?
Huh. Good
Not
question.
Edith's, is it?
You got me. I don't recognize it.
That's you holding,
Was that me there for sure?
you?
Yes.
Oh, sure, chubby. I didn't know I was
You
that
holding
chubby.
Larry?
I was a.
That
I
was
a- I
Florence
a
standing in
hunk of a
front there?
baby, I tell you that.
You weren't that bad. You were
Well,
just
look at
nice,
me.
like Brianna.
That was Florence standing there then?
That's Florence with Mary kicking her head.
That's a land. That was a country between Germany and France where I dated a girl.
Really?
It was a no man's land. After the Second World War, they put a divider there, and you can see the bomb dog craters and everything behind it.
Huh.
And great big cities were just destroyed.
And, Janesville. That house, but it
1960.
can't be.
July
July
1960. That's right after I
1960.
got out of the military.
You
You
can't.
know who that is? Isn't that Norris old house there? Isn't it out by?
Oh, it could be on North, yes, that's it. That's North Avenue. Yep. Thank you.
Think that's Ernie?
Yeah.
Down on the lake somewhere?
Larry and Ernie look alike in certain pictures. Think that's you?
I don't know if it is or
I think it looks more like Ernie.
not. Angel. Those two girls aren't alike, but yeah, sometimes can't tell them apart.
Yeah, they look like twins. I haven't seen this before in my life.
That's a picture that's new to me. So how, let's see that again, that's at Grandma's house with the,
Yeah, that I must have been right out of the military, but look how old Ernie is there, and can't figure that.
Yeah.
Shawano Lake as a counselor. That was my kids back there that
Oh,
I
that's
tried
a
to kill.
shirt.
you can't, when you was a counselor, the object of camp is get fitted.
There's a color picture.
Grandpa Bill, yep.
His favorite spot there.
That side of the table is his, huh? Grandpa's driver's license expired in 1978.
185 pounds, height 5'8" inches.
Yeah, restriction number 1, that had been what, eyeglasses?
Eyeglasses, probably.
State of Wisconsin. Don't think that the driver's license number is not going to be a social security. Did you want to see Nathan's
Yeah.
military?